Now let's look at the solution to question number 8. Now this question comes from the literature section of the paper. If you observe it carefully, it's a reference to context question. Now reference to context question carries a series of 4 different questions based on the given extract. For each question you have options. Not in all the categories. There are questions where you may have to write a subjective one word or a phrasal answer. If I observe the first question here, it says the poet who has written these lines is dash. Clearly if you read the extract, it says, I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. On reading the lines, you can easily recall it's from Walt Whitman's poetry, The Animals. So clearly when I observe the option, the correct answer should be option number 3, Walt Whitman, which is given as the straightforward answer. Now if I have to take into account the marking scheme that is allotted here, for each correct answer you get 1 mark straight, and therefore in total the reference to context section becomes a 4 marker section. Now the second in line of the same references, who are they referred to here? So clearly if you recall, the poet is talking about the animals that he is observing. It's clearly written in the very first option, and thus option number 1 becomes the most appropriate answer. Then question number C says the poet looks at them long and long because he dash. Now this is not a category of MCQ. This is where you have to provide an answer, either a phrase or a short sentence. But if you read it carefully, why was the poet actually involved in that thought associated with those animals? The reason specifically was that because he is enamored by them and wants to live with them. Clearly as given by the context. Moving on, the last question from the same reference goes as, which word in the extract means complain? It's a vocabulary question. All you have to do is pick the right word from the given extract. If you read it carefully, it says they do not sweat and whine about their condition. Whining is what complaining is all about, and thus the correct answer should be whine as a synonym of complain. Now the same question has an internal choice that comes from a different reference. So the second part of the question is a separate reference picked up from one of the most often asked chapters, and that is The Midnight Visitor. If you read the reference clearly, it says, and as the light came on, Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand, stood a man. Ausable blinked a few times, and then the question goes as, who was standing in the room with the pistol in his hand? If you read the options carefully, you easily observe that the correct answer should be option number 3, Max, because that's exactly who we are talking about. Then moving on, the second question says, Ausable blinked because he. Among the given set of statements here, what was the first and the foremost reason of Ausable blinking? It was the fear. It was being scared in the whole situation. If I read the options carefully, clearly option number 2 states the reason that he got afraid of the man with a pistol. That was the moment of shock and surprise. And then question number 3 says Fowler was thrilled because what he saw looked like a dash. If you read the last part of the reference, you have your answer straight away. The reason why he was thrilled was because he saw a small automatic pistol in the hand of Max. Lastly, the question says which word in the extract means the same as genuine or real. Now, if I read the extract carefully, you are talking about authentic as a meaning. Among the given set of words, clearly the answer authentic is already written in the extract and thus becomes the most suitable answer. So, reference to context questions are fairly simple, 1 mark for each correct answer. Now, we proceed to 2 marker questions in the next segment. So, let's look at question number 9 and its solutions.